Are you ready for our last section of filler blocks? Let's do it. It is time for our last section of filler blocks. I'm Cristin and we are finishing up our cup of cheer quilt. I've had some questions. People are already sending me messages. Are we going to do the inner borders and outer borders together and the embellishments? Yes, we are going to do all the parts, the backing and all of it, the binding, you name it. We will go through all of the parts of the quilt. Don't worry. All right, so section 7 filler blocks. They are on page 62 of our guide, and I believe there's only 4 of them. Yep, 4 of them, and this will be such an easy day. We've worked hard. We deserve an easy day. All right, so the first one, as always, I've always mentioned in each of the filler block videos that I cut mine a little bit larger. You can have cut them to size if you did it before my cutting video. That's totally fine. Either way will work. All right, so the first one is going to be this green with flowers on it fabric, and this one I cut mine to 3 by 5, so that means the original was supposed to be 2.5 by 4.5, and that will work absolutely fine. So either 2.5 by 4.5 or 3 by 5. The only reason, like I've mentioned before, that I cut mine a little bit larger is so that it will tack it down. That it just makes it easy, but you can tape it in place just as fine. So no problem. I did back each of mine with Fusible Stabilizer. Again, mine is 3 by 5. Now on this one, we're going to have our batting be 3 by 5. Whether you cut this smaller or not smaller, but regular size or larger, either way, your batting will be 3 by 5. So the same size as what I've cut my fabric at. And we are going to quilt this one with plant 3 in 2 by 4. Plant 3 in 2 by 4. This is for filler block number 1. All right, and then for filler block number 2, it is the navy blue with Christmas designs on it. And this one, I wanted to cut it at 5 by 5, which means the original size is 4.5 by 4.5. But actually, I didn't have quite enough. So mine is a little bit smaller. It's basically 4.75 by 4.75. So whatever you had extra of, it makes it just a little bit easier to tack it down. Or the regular size 4.5 by 4.5 will work fine as well. I did back mine with Fusible Stabilizer. And this one, same thing. For the batting, we're going to want 5 by 5 of our batting. You can see my batting's a little bit bigger on this one because I didn't have extra. So 5 by 5 on your batting. We're going to quilt this one. This is number 2 with cup 1 in 4 by 4. Cup 1 in 4 by 4 for our quilting design. This is for filler block number 2. All right, and then filler block number 3 is this really pretty. I love this one. The colorful snowflakes. All right, colorful snowflakes, and this is our largest one. This one is 4.5 by 6.5, so I cut mine to 5 by 7. Either way will work. And we are going to use the same size batting as what I cut my larger fabric at. So 5 by 7 for your batting. And then we are going to use line 6 in 4 by 6 horizontal design. So line 6, 4 by 6 in horizontal design for our quilting for number 3. That's filler block number 3. And then filler block number 4 is the white on white, large white dots, white fabric. And this one is 2.5 by 6.5, or mine was 3 by 7. I cut it a little bit larger at 3 by 7. And you do want to back it with Fusible Stabilizer on the light fabrics, your choice, but I did it on all of them. So 3 by 7 is what I did, this number 4 filler block. And whether you cut it the regular size or larger, you want your batting to be 3 by 7. 3 by 7 for your batting so that will tack down. We will trim it. We'll go over all of that. And this one we are going to do winter 2. That's that cute snowman one. It's supposed to be in a white thread color, but I'll probably do a colorful one, maybe even a variegated one, maybe a variegated blue. That would be so cute. Sorry, the wheels are spinning already. Okay, so winter 2, and we're going to use 2 by 6 design, 2 by 6 in winter 2. And this is for number 4 of our filler blocks. So we have just those 4. A couple of them are a little bit larger, but I'm going to show you how to join them all in one hooping if you choose to do that. So let's go over to the embroidery, or not the embroidery machine, to the computer first. Okay, everyone, I'm at my computer now. That light is blinding. Oh my goodness, it's nice to be at my computer, seeing spots. All right, so I am going to open up Embrilliance Essentials, and I'm just going to quickly show you how to merge these 4 together and join them all and save on stabilizer and save on time. All right, so let's see. It opened up to my 9x14 hoop. Actually, I'm going to leave that as my 9x14 hoop. I think you could probably do it a little bit smaller, especially if you didn't cut your fabrics larger, then you definitely could use a smaller hoop and still fit it all into one. But I'm going to keep my 9x14. If you're not on the hoop size you want, you go up to this preferences folder, click on the size that you want, and say okay. All right. And then I always like to hit this H button to make sure I'm seeing all of my hoop. So the first one is this green fabric that we went over, and so we're going to bring in plant 3. So I'm going to go to merge stitch file, and I'm going to look for my quilting designs. There's plant 3 right there in Pez, and we want the 2x4 in plant 3. Right there. Okay, and I am just going to take this and move it up here to the corner. This is for filler block number 1. All right, for filler block number 2, we want cup 1 in 4x4. So I'm going to close up this plant 3, and there's cup 1 right there. Embroidery files, block by block. Pez is what I use for my machine, and we're looking for a 4x4. Right there, double click on that, and I'm going to drag it up here to the corner, the right hand corner. All right, and then for number 3, we're looking for line 6. So merge stitch file, close up this one, and lines 6 in 4x6. Embroidery files, Pez, and we're looking for 4x6 right there, and then we're going to use the horizontal design. That's this one. Double click on that, goes to the center, and I clicked the wrong one. Sorry about that. I'm going to click delete on my keyboard. That's the 4x4. Sorry about that. I am going to redo that. We're in line 6, Pez, and we're looking for the 4x6. Cristin, pay attention. 4x6 horizontal. 4x6 horizontal, line 6 right there. Okay, and it goes to the center. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this with this left rotate button, and I'm going to bring it down. And you have to click on the stitching to be able to do that. And I'm just doing that because I want a little bit of space for my fabric, and I can move them around afterward as well. All right, that's number 3. So let's see, that was number 1. Number 2 was this one, that's the upper right hand corner. Number 3, that's our largest one with the colorful snowflakes. And then number 4 is this one, and we're looking for a winter 2 in 2x6. So I go to merge stitch file, and I'm going to close out the line 6 that we're done with. Oops, I closed too much. Cup of cheer bundle and winter 2. Embroidery files, block by block, Pez, and we're looking for a 2x6 design right there. Double click on that, and it goes to the center. Click on it, and I am going to rotate it left right here with this arrow, and I'm going to click on the stitching and bring it down to the very bottom, making sure not to go over the hoop. Okay, and so then I can see I have a little bit of space in between each of these, which is perfect. That just gives me some room to be able to play. All right, those 4 are there. Now we just want to group them to save on a lot of time, because right now we've got 20 steps, and we don't want 20 steps. So we're going to go to this. Sorry, my keyboard moves. All right, so we only need to change a couple of them because this default 1 blue, default 2 orange, as always, it's in here twice, and that would join those. And we absolutely don't want that because we want a placement for our batting and a placement for our main fabric. We don't want those to be joined. So I'm going to just choose the second two. So this 1, 3 right here, click on that, click on the color, and the first one that comes up for me is dark aqua. Say okay. And then this default 2 orange, we're going to click on the color and change it to blaze. And then let's see, I'm going to go ahead and change all of the colors. You could, the last two, this one and this one, it says in the book to use white thread, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to use a colored thread on there. So I'm going to just change all of the thread colors of the quilting. So that's the 5th step always in the quilting design. So I'm going to make them all different. All 4 will be different. So on this, I click on the turquoise. That's, you can see the stitching there. I'm going to click on the color, and I'm going to change the first one to sprout. Say okay. All right, now we're on the second one. So we're on this one right here, the upper right hand corner, this cup 1. We can leave the default 1 blue and orange for the first 2. So we're on 2, 3 now. So when on the 1, 3, we use dark aqua. So on 2, 3, I'm going to click on that, click on the color, and make sure and use the same color I used before, which I can see it right there, dark aqua, the first color. Say okay. And then for this orange, same thing, we used blaze. So I'm going to click, see we're on 2, 4. On 1, 4, we used blaze. Click on the color, click on blaze, say okay. And then this one we want different. We don't want these to join so that we have time to be able to change the thread color. So I'm going to click on the color, click on the color here. We used sprout already. You can see it right here. So I'm going to use the second one, which is sea green. And again, the colors may be different on your end. It's whatever you've chosen as your default. I have Glide as my default thread color. And you can change that in this preferences folder. Okay, so now I'm just scrolling down. We've done 1 and 2. Now we're on number 3 here. That's the middle one. So I'm going to click on the third part. This is 3, 3, because just like before, we used dark aqua. So I'm going to change this 3, 3, click on the color, and change it to dark aqua so that it will join with the others. And then this one, we know we want blaze. Click on that, blaze, say okay. Now this is the one we don't want to join. So we're going to click on the color, and we're on the third one. So I'm going to choose mint, the third color down, because we already used the other 2. All right, that was 3, 3, that's done. The last one, number 4 here, right here. We're going to leave 1 and 2 the same, and then number 3 we want just like before, dark aqua and then blaze. So dark aqua, and then for 4, 4 it's going to be blaze. Say okay, and then same thing like I mentioned before, we want to change this color, so we want it to stop. So I'm going to change it to the 4th color, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is magic mint, because we already used mint. So now we're on magic mint. Say okay. And that was super easy, super quick. All 4 of our filler blocks have been changed so that they should all group well. Like I said, we have 20 color steps right now. So I'm going to go to Utility Color Sort, and let's see what it does. So we are going to click New View. By the way, I want to mention this, okay? There's a few people that have asked about this, that when they join their colors, it doesn't always work. And I want to point out right here, see this, for the RHS pre-sort, the force applique, position, material, and tolerance. All of those are unchecked on mine, and my tolerance is at 0. So if you're having trouble joining your colors, make sure that this part of your window looks the same as mine. All right, so I'm going to click New View. Right now we're on Untitled 1. It will bring up a new tab so that we can see what changes that it made. So I'm going to click New View. All right, and then it's all in one now. So I'm going to click on that number 1 and just run through. So there's the placement stitch for all 4 for the batting. That's perfect. Number 2 is the tack down stitch of the batting. Those are all grouped perfectly. And number 3 is the placement stitch for the main fabric. 4 is the tack down or the basting stitch of the main fabric. And then we should have each of our different quilting designs in different colors. So there's the first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. So that all joined exactly how we wanted it, perfectly done. And now we only have 8 color steps. How easy is that compared to doing 20 and stopping, and pulling our hoop in and out for the trimming? It's all done easily now. So 8 of 8. So I'm going to say File, Save Stitch File As, and I am going to save it in my Cup of Cheer quilt. I created this filler block folder, and I'm going to say Section 7 fillers, and it's in my 9x14 hoop. Save. All right, and then I could save it to send it to my machine by clicking Utility. Let's see, where is it? Utility. Send to Solaris. There it is. Send to Solaris XP1. And my machine is on, so it should take it just fine. File sent to machine. And if you don't have that feature, you usually just transfer it to a USB stick. And we're ready to finish section 7. All right, let's do this.